Hello, everyone. Today we're going to explore an incredibly interesting book that has a huge impact on how we interact and make decisions in our daily lives. The book, Influence, the Psychology of Persuasion, by Robert B. Cialdini, is not just a work of psychology, but it also reflects social realities that we often encounter. In the modern world, from social media advertising to sophisticated marketing campaigns, we are constantly being influenced by psychological principles that we may not be aware of. Have you ever wondered why you decide to buy a product after a short ad? Or why you find it hard to refuse an invitation that you don't really want to accept? Cialdini helps us unlock the secrets behind these decisions. This book dives deep into 7 principles of persuasion, such as scarcity, liking, and commitment, providing us with tools to identify and better understand the strategies others are using to influence our behavior. In an increasingly complex social context, equipping yourself with this knowledge not only makes you a smarter consumer, but also helps you navigate life more effectively. Let's explore this fascinating book together and discover how persuasion principles can impact our lives. The first chapter of the book, Influence, the Psychology of Persuasion, focuses on the principle of reciprocation, a core concept in the psychology of persuasion. This principle states that when someone receives a gift or a good deed from another person, they feel obligated to reciprocate by doing something similar for the person who helped them. This can be applied in many areas, from sales to personal relationships. Cialdini explains that reciprocation is a powerful and widespread social principle, found in many cultures. It creates a social bond, making the recipient feel compelled to reciprocate the favor they have received. Many studies and experiments have shown that people are often strongly influenced by reciprocation. When someone does something for another person, it often leads to the recipient feeling the need to return the favor, regardless of the value of the gift or action. In one experiment, Cialdini sent postcards with greetings to customers. He then noticed that these customers were more likely to make purchases than those who didn't receive the postcards. This is an example of how even a small action can create a sense of indebtedness and promote shopping behavior. Many companies use the strategy of offering small gifts like free samples to encourage customers to buy the main product. For example, a cosmetics company might distribute free samples of a new product, which makes customers feel inclined to buy the full-size product after trying the sample. This principle can be abused when others use it to manipulate others. For example, a charity might send a small gift, such as a sticker or a calendar, hoping that the recipient will feel obligated to donate. The principle of reciprocation is not only an important part of psychology, but also a powerful tool in marketing, sales, and personal relationships. By understanding and applying this principle, people can improve their ability to persuade and interact with others more effectively. The second chapter of the book, Influence, the Psychology of Persuasion, by Robert B. Cialdini, focuses on the principle of commitment and consistency. This principle is based on the idea that once people have made a commitment, they tend to act in a way that is consistent with that commitment, even if it may no longer be in line with their original intentions. Cialdini defines commitment as an action or decision that an individual makes, and once a commitment has been made, they will feel obligated to uphold or continue that action. Commitments can be made publicly or privately, but public commitments are usually more powerful. Humans have an instinct to be consistent in their actions and words. When someone has publicly expressed an opinion or committed to an idea, they will feel pressure to maintain that opinion to avoid contradicting themselves. A famous study conducted in 1966 asked a group of people to sign a petition advocating safe driving. Later, those who had signed the petition were more likely to agree to place a larger billboard in front of their home. The initial commitment, signing the small petition, led to a larger action, placing the large billboard, showing consistency in action. Marketers often apply this principle by encouraging customers to make a small commitment, such as signing up for a free newsletter. Afterward, customers tend to feel the need to buy related products or services after making that initial commitment. Many companies establish loyalty programs where customers must register to participate. Once they have joined, customers feel a responsibility to shop more to maintain their status. Commitment can lead to irrational or inconsistent actions with original intentions. A person might continue a habit or a hobby even though they no longer truly enjoy it, simply because they've committed to it. The principle of commitment and consistency is very powerful in influencing human actions. By understanding how this principle works, we can use it to persuade others or create positive actions in our own lives. The third chapter of the book, Influence, the Psychology of Persuasion, by Robert B. Cialdini, focuses on the principle of social proof. This principle is based on the idea that humans often seek validation from those around them to decide on their actions. When unsure, people tend to look to the behavior of others as a way to determine the appropriate course of action in a given situation. Social proof is defined as a guide that people use to evaluate their own behavior and that of others. If they see many people performing a specific action, they are more likely to perform that action. Cialdini emphasizes that this principle is particularly powerful in situations where people feel uncertain or confused. In such situations, they will seek validation from others to make decisions. What? A famous experiment by Solomon Asch demonstrated the power of social proof. In the experiment, subjects were asked to identify the length of a line segment. When all the other participants provided the wrong answer, many main participants felt pressured and also provided the wrong answer to conform to the group, demonstrating how social proof influences individual decisions. Quote, "In marketing, advertisers often use social proof by showing that many others are using or liking their products. For example, an ad might say, 90% of customers are satisfied with this product, making consumers feel more comfortable when deciding to buy." Neem. When people see a crowd gathering in a particular place, they tend to join, thinking that something important or interesting is happening. This behavior can lead to participation in events or activities that they may not genuinely be interested in. When choosing a restaurant, many people consider reviews from previous customers. If they see a restaurant with many positive reviews, they are more likely to choose that place, even if they've never been there before. Cialdini warns that social proof can lead to people acting irrationally, such as engaging in unsafe activities just because others are doing it. The principle of social proof shows that we don't just make decisions based on individual thinking, but we are also heavily influenced by the behavior of others. By recognizing this, we can use social proof to persuade and influence others more effectively. The fourth chapter of the book, Influence, the Psychology of Persuasion, by Robert B. Cialdini, explores the principle of authority. This principle is based on the idea that humans tend to obey those who hold positions of authority, power, or expertise, even if it may lead to irrational decisions. Cialdini defines authority as the trust that people place in individuals or organizations with expertise or power in a particular field. When someone is perceived as an authority, their words and actions are often considered correct and trustworthy. Humans often lack the knowledge or time to analyze every decision, so they tend to rely on those they consider authoritative to guide their actions. This can lead to them accepting information without scrutiny or analysis. Hoot. One of the most famous experiments on authority is Stanley Milgram's experiment in the 1960s. This experiment demonstrated that many people are willing to obey the commands of an authority figure, a researcher, to inflict pain on others, although no actual pain was inflicted. The results showed that many participants were willing to cause pain simply because they were asked to do so by an authority figure. In advertising, companies often use celebrities or experts in relevant fields to build trust in their products. For example, a toothpaste ad might feature a famous dentist, leading consumers to believe that the product is more effective. When going to the doctor, patients often follow the doctor's instructions without questioning, as they view the doctor as highly skilled in the medical field. Students often trust the teachings of their teachers or lecturers. They tend to follow what is taught without questioning the accuracy. While this principle can be helpful, it can also lead to wrong decisions if the authority figure does not have genuine expertise, or if they abuse their position. This can lead to unethical or irrational actions. The principle of authority shows that we often accept opinions and guidance from powerful people without questioning. Understanding this principle helps us recognize how authority can influence our decisions and actions, and it also helps us protect ourselves from being victims of manipulation. The fifth chapter of the book, Influence, the Psychology of Persuasion, by Robert B. Cialdini, focuses on the principle of scarcity. This principle is based on the idea that when something becomes scarce, its value in the eyes of humans increases. When people feel that an opportunity is dwindling or likely to disappear, they tend to act quickly to avoid missing out on that opportunity. Cialdini defines scarcity as the feeling that an asset, opportunity, or resource is declining or at risk of no longer existing. When people perceive something as scarce, they feel the need to seize the opportunity before it vanishes. The principle of scarcity applies not only to physical products, but also to opportunities, information, and time. When a product or service is advertised as having limited quantities, consumers tend to feel a sense of urgency and decide to buy quickly. Stores often use one-day only or limited quantity discount programs to encourage customers to make quick purchasing decisions. For example, a store might announce that only 5 items remain at a discounted price, which puts pressure on customers and may lead them to buy without much thought. Many travel companies use ads like "only 3 seats left" or "prices only valid today" to encourage customers to book immediately. Cialdini explains that when a product or opportunity is perceived as scarce, people tend to feel it's more valuable. This effect can lead consumers to be willing to pay higher prices for things they perceive as rare. The FOMO effect. This effect, short for fear of missing out, refers to the fear of missing out on an opportunity or exciting event. When consumers feel they might miss something, they tend to act quickly to avoid being left behind. While this principle can drive action, it can also lead to irrational decisions. Consumers might buy products they don't need or don't actually like just because they are afraid of missing out. The principle of scarcity shows that the value of something depends not only on its nature, but also on its availability. When people feel that a product or opportunity is dwindling, they tend to act quickly and decisively to seize that opportunity. The sixth chapter of the book, Influence, the Psychology of Persuasion, by Robert B. Cialdini, explores the principle of liking. This principle is based on the idea that people tend to obey and be influenced by those they like, have close relationships with, or feel connected to. Liking can arise from many factors, including similarity, familiarity, and flattery. The principle of liking suggests that when we like someone, we tend to accept their opinions and requests more readily. This liking can be based on positive emotions or a personal connection. We often like people who have something in common with us, such as interests, views, or lifestyles. Similarity creates a sense of familiarity and closeness. The feeling of familiarity can increase liking. When we encounter someone multiple times, we tend to feel comfortable and like that person more. People who regularly compliment us or show interest in us are also more likely to be liked. In marketing, salespeople often try to build friendly relationships with customers. When customers like a salesperson, they are more likely to buy from that person. A salesperson might use personal stories or share common interests to create a connection. When a character on a television show becomes likable to viewers, they tend to support products or services associated with that character. For example, if a famous television character promotes a product, viewers might feel interested and decide to buy the product just because they like that character. The principle of liking can lead to irrational decisions when people buy things or take actions simply because they like the salesperson or the advertiser, rather than because the product is actually good. Politicians often try to gain liking from voters by sharing personal stories, creating a friendly and approachable image, aiming to increase their chances of being elected. To leverage this principle, people can focus on building connections and establishing relationships with others. Showing interest and empathy can help create trust and liking. Sincere compliments and recognition can foster positive relationships and make others feel valued. The principle of liking shows that liking can be a powerful factor in influencing human behavior and decisions. When we build positive relationships with others, we not only create connection, but also have the potential to influence their decisions. And those are the main takeaways from the book, Influence, the Psychology of Persuasion. Through the persuasion principles that Cialdini has outlined, we not only understand better how others can influence our decisions, but also learn how to protect ourselves from unwanted influences. In today's world, where information and advertising are abundant, being aware of these persuasion strategies becomes incredibly important. Remember, knowledge is power. You can apply these principles to create a positive impact in your personal and professional lives. If you found today's content helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and share this video with your friends. Also, leave a comment in the comments section about your experiences with being influenced in daily life. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so now to avoid missing other exciting videos on books and psychology. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.